Hello everybody! Today we're going to be talking about a topic that most of us find great interest in, however do not fully understand yet. I hope that with this teaching you will come away from this with a greater understanding of soulmates and also twin flames. I'm sure most of us, if not all of us, have done research on soulmates, maybe even twin flames, and read books, looked up these topics online or talk to your friends about it, and especially have wondered when you've met certain people, is this my soulmate or is this my twin flame? Sorry, I'm using notes today, so I keep glancing down at my paper. So I want to ask you guys to be honest with yourself for a moment. I'm sure that most of us have thought, if not now, at least in the past, that soulmates are when two people meet and instantly fall in deep, deep love with each other and feel like this person was made for me. We may also think that over time, this same deep loving feeling develops. It may not be right when you meet the person, but it happens over time. This sounds very romantic, but is it true? And unfortunately, I'm sure we hope that this was true or want this to be true, but it's not. Today, as I said, I would like to teach you what soulmates and twin flames actually are and not what we think they are. Very rarely do we find someone who is a soulmate and that relationship start off perfect and stay that way. It's not how it normally works. I'm hoping that as I teach this, that it becomes easier for you to identify when someone who has come into your life is a soulmate. Because if we are more aware of this, then things that transpire will make more sense to us, and these opportunities for growth will not be missed. Soulmates, like I said, unfortunately are not, our perfect relationship, and they come with a lot of issues. The soulmate connection generally, varies widely. You may have romantic types. You may have soulmates who are friends. But the point here is that they vary. The one thing that is common across the board, no matter what type of relationship you find yourself in with these people, is that they are our catalyst for growth. They, if they see us do something that's wrong, they will let us know. If they can tell that there is a character flaw that we have not yet addressed or tried to remedy, they will let us know. They will not sit there and think, oh, I just love this person so much that they're perfect and I will never tell them when they do something wrong. It's not true. Soulmates can be difficult relationships because of that reason. They will point out our mistakes. They will point out when we are running from a demon. They want us to grow, whether it's unconsciously or consciously. They are our catalyst for growth. Very often I hear people say when they get into a relationship that makes them very happy, oh, I have found my soulmate. We are always happy. We never fight. They understand me. Everything's perfect. That's not a soulmate connection. That's most likely the honeymoon period. Sometimes people manage to feel that connection much longer than the beginning of a relationship, but that's not a soulmate connection. They aren't necessarily romantic. Not every soulmate connection is going to be of a sexual or sensual nature. Soulmates, like I said, they dig up all of the things that we try to stuff deep down inside of us because we don't want to deal with them. They encourage us to look within our darkness and deal with everything that we find. This can be very awful, I will not lie. This can be very painful and very uncomfortable and very frustrating, but I promise you that if you want to grow and be a better person than you were yesterday, you have to face your demons. You have to face the darkness or the character defects that you have. Whether it's something as small as biting your nails or if it's something as large as you lie all the time. Your soulmate's going to see this in you, and they're going to encourage you to stop doing it. I think it is human nature to run away from things that are difficult and to cower in fear when things are dark. I'm sure that's human nature, but it's always better to face it. I know it's hard. I know it sucks. But if you go through it and you do the work, when you come out of it, you will be so happy. You will be so thankful that you had the courage to do it. I promise you that from personal experience. A soulmate relationship, like I said, could also be a friend. And oftentimes you have a very loving connection with this friend. You feel that you can be yourself all the time with this friend. However, that does not mean that they're not going to check you. If you start acting mean towards someone else, or you do something that's very wrong, they're going to be the first one to tell you, hey, that wasn't right. Why are you doing this? They want to see the growth in you. This is why they are a soulmate. The point here is that they, don't just want good things for you, but they come into your life to inspire growth and to inspire you to make it further on your path to enlightenment. Whether this is consciously something you want or you don't want, we all eventually will get there. And people who are our soulmates will help us on that journey. This could also be a friend who you love very much and that you find yourself trusting with your own life, your children's lives. You constantly go to them for anything, whether you're upset or you're happy and you want to celebrate with them. This friend is just very awesome to you and you love them. But down the road, you start to realize that there are some red flags. There are some things about them that aren't quite right or don't sit well with you. Possibly you start to realize that they aren't as ethical as you thought they were, or they might be dwelling in the past and start to pull you in with them. Unfortunately, relationships like this eventually end, and this is a good example of another soulmate connection. While they may not have wanted to hurt you, or maybe they did, there is a lesson to be learned here. Again, that is the point of soulmates, is for you to learn and to grow and to ascend. So I know I mentioned earlier that they're not always romantic or sexual or sensual. However, they can be. And, they will push you. Like I've said a million times before so far in this video, they will push you to fix yourself and to grow and to better yourself, become wiser and stronger and smarter and kinder, more patient. And a lot of this also depends on where you are at. If they are doing this, and they hopefully are doing it in a sensitive, loving way, giving you constructive criticism instead of just telling you that you're being a butthead. We could take this in one of two ways. Either we can listen with a loving heart and we can do some honest introspection and realize that, I am doing that and I need to stop that and I need to work on that. And the relationship will grow. The relationship will flourish because of this, because they loved you enough to point out that you're doing something that's hurting you and others. And that you were in a place where you were able to take that and use it to grow. However, we could also go the other way and we could become very angry and very hurt that they pointed out our faults. We could feel very attacked by this. And, I know from personal experience when I was younger, this can be very hard. When I wasn't ready to hear it, it hurt very badly that, I felt, you love me, you're supposed to be on my side. Why are you pointing this out? This hurts. And yes, it does hurt. Don't, not validate yourself over that. However, it really does show that they love you, that they want you to grow. So, if you don't take it right, then obviously the relationship will eventually wilt and anger will rule and it will probably end. This is another, opportunity for you to grow. Soulmates come in every form. They could be your children. They could be a teacher in your life. They could be a lover. They could be a friend. They could also be someone else's lover. This is another common misconception that I've seen a lot of people talk about or post on Facebook. my significant other is nothing to you, or that person's significant other is not your soulmate. I understand that it's very, very hard for most people to handle when there is a deep connection between their significant other and another person. And especially, this can be very hard, especially if those two were meant to be in some way, shape, or form, at least in that time, and it doesn't work out. That sucks. I've been there. I have been there, and it sucks. However, you can't decide who's going to be a soulmate for you or someone else. You can't, have the luxury of saying, hey, well, this is my significant other, so I'm going to say that this person will never be someone else's soulmate. However that soulmate connection is in nature. I know it sucks. It sucks real bad, but that's just not how it works. You can't plan for when you will meet a soulmate as much as you'd wish that you could. You just can't. And sometimes they seem to pop into your life at one of the worst times possible. And I have a little story about this. I met one of my particularly profound soulmates when after I had gotten married to my husband, who I'm with now. And it was very, very difficult because I felt and was even having visions that I had been with this person before, that we had been together romantically before. And that is very hard when your heart is committed to someone else in this now present life. So obviously in the length of our friendship, I made it very clear to this person that I cared about them very much and that there was a soul connection there, but that I could not give them my heart. And unfortunately, at that time with that person, they were unable to hear that. So the friendship was lost altogether. But this just goes to show that you can't pick the timing, and sometimes the timing really sucks. However, if you reframe things in your mind, you will find the bright side of things. And I know you probably don't want to hear that. I know a lot of people think that sounds so stupid, that there is always a silver lining to every cloud. But I promise you, if you are able to get control of your thoughts and reframe it in a more positive light, you will see the positive to every situation. And this is one of them. For me, initially this hurt very bad, especially to lose him as a friend. I deeply wanted to keep him as a friend. But when I looked deeper for the deeper meaning, the teaching, the growth opportunity, I was flabbergasted. And I realized that there were a lot of things that I was not getting in my own marriage that were hurting me deep inside. And until this happened, I didn't realize it. I didn't know how to bring these feelings and these thoughts and these needs into communication. But after this situation, I was very eloquently able to communicate to my husband what was happening within myself that I needed from him. And that in turn helped us to better our marriage, to strengthen and deepen it. So while it hurt initially, there was a deeper meaning there that really helped. So, excuse me, give me 1 second. Lost my place. Okay, so like I was saying, you can't plan for when you can't plan out who's going to be a soulmate, who's not. But you can plan for what you're going to do or how you're going to react when you meet one. So it is important, like I said, to be able to see when you meet one, to have that awareness and that mindfulness. This person that I just met, I have a soul connection with this person. So, so now I want to shift over to twin flames. So where does that leave us in regards to twin flames? What are they? There's a website called Forever Conscious. I really, really, really love them for a lot of different topics, but especially for twin flames. I'm going to pull from some of their teachings on twin flames because it aligns with my experiences, and for that reason, I think it's just stellar. So I'm going to share it with you. Gotta shift for a minute. Okay. So anyway, going back to soulmates for a second. Forever Conscious explains that soulmates are like a quilt, a nice, pretty big blanket. And in the quilt, we oftentimes have different sections, different squares that make up the entire blanket. Soulmates are those little squares. They are cut from the same fabric. They are made of the same energy. And we are all energy, so don't forget that. We are all, when you strip away the human form or an animal form or whatever form, we are all energy, and we are all connected by energy, creating a massive energy web. So soulmates are energy that comes from the same source. Deep down, we all come from the same source, but I think you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, twin flames go deeper than this. Going back to Forever Conscious, I loved that the way they explained this was, when a soul has reached a high enough vibration, they have become enlightened. They become so big, so great, that they oftentimes split into another soul. And this soul that is birthed from the other is a twin flame. You are literally, to the deepest extent, cut from the very same fabric. That's just beautiful. Just thinking about that is utterly poetic. And I think, most of us, whether we've heard of twin flames or not, we feel this deep down in our soul, this longing for someone that we don't know who they are. We don't have a name. We don't have a face. Sometimes we do, especially if we pay close attention to our dreams and our thoughts, and if we are in touch with our clairvoyant or clairaudient or other abilities, we may start to see glimpses of them, or hear them, or feel them. I know that for me personally, I have felt in this life, I have felt my twin flame since I was a child. I used to frighten people apparently when I was a kid. When I would tell them, I want to go home. I'm tired of being here. I want to go home, and I want to be with my husband. And I was like 5 when I'm telling people this, and they're looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm saying this while I'm sitting in my dwelling inside my home. And being a child, I couldn't really explain it quite well, but I knew I wasn't home, and I knew that I wasn't with my twin flame. It was not with him, and it hurt. I've been dreaming about him since I was a kid. I sometimes hear him speak to me. I know that sounds crazy. If you don't believe in this stuff, I should have said this earlier. If you don't believe in this stuff, please feel free to just bypass my video. I don't really need to, you don't need to be bothered with my stuff, and I don't need to be bothered with negative comments. So please, again, please, if you don't believe in this stuff, just please move along. Anyway, I apologize. So anyway, like I said, with twin flames, one of the souls becomes so enlightened and so high vibrational energy that they eventually split and they become another soul. So there are 2 souls that came from one. There are a lot of theories out there, so you're going to find a lot of different information out there. And when it comes to topics like twin flames, it is so out there, I guess, and so deep and so complicated that it's hard for anyone to say, this is how it is. This is the only way it is. I don't even like to deal in absolutes. I really don't. I think that anything is possible, and that if we restrict ourselves to absolutes, we are putting ourselves in a box. We're putting the universe in a box, and we can't do that. You just can't. You just can't. So please don't do it. Anyway, so you're gonna hear different experiences depending on who you talk to, what books you read, what websites you visit. You're gonna see different theories out there, but for the rest of this teaching, I'm gonna go with some that have aligned with my own personal experience. So therefore, for me, they make sense. However, I'm not saying in any way that other experiences aren't valid or other sources aren't valid, if that makes sense. Okay, so already talked about that. So first I want to outline the generally believed phases of twin flames, because there are stages or phases of the twin flame dance. So with the first stage, I think the website I pulled this from is called www.theopenmind.com. I will post the exact link to the article that I read for this in the description of this video. This right here, the stages are not my own work. However, like I said, they have aligned pretty well with my own experiences. This is why I'm pulling from this. So anyway, the first stage is called the preparation stage. This is before you meet your twin flame. And generally, you go through at least one, but most of the time, several relationships that they fail and they leave you longing for your twin flame. They leave you wondering and thinking and asking questions and searching. The second stage is the meeting, and I like that they call this the glimpse of heaven, because when the two souls meet, there is a glimpse of what they will be eventually when both souls are ready. And when I say that because, and we see this in the third stage, which is the dance and resolving karma. Generally, at least one of the twin flames is not ready to be together yet, and that means that either one has been enlightened and the other has not been, or neither of them have been, and it is chaotic. It can be utter hell. So, going back to the second stage where it says a glimpse of heaven, there's initially this period where everything is perfect, for lack of a better term. Everything is just perfect. But it does not stay that way for very long. It doesn't. The two start to find that their accumulated negativity and bad karma start to come up to the surface, and this is where anger comes up, fear, confusion, anxiety, attachment issues, all sorts of crap just comes up to the surface, because if it doesn't come up to the surface, how can you resolve it? You can't. So this is where the chaos begins. You also generally will have one soul be the runner and the other be the chaser. So one is constantly chasing after the other, desperately trying to be with this person. Usually they have a better vision of what they really are, and so they are desperately trying to awaken the other. But the other's not ready to be awakened, so they run. This can be very painful for both people involved, and oftentimes from other people's experiences that I've heard, other people around them get pulled into it too, and it's not a good situation for anybody. So this is the process where the twin flames begin to become cleansed by divine process. Like I said, crap comes up to the surface and they must face it. So moving on to the fourth stage, this is the reunion stage, and this talks about where the souls meet again. This might be later on in the same life. It could also be in a different life. It could be a life, 10 lives down the road. There is no set in stone, this is how the process works. To my knowledge, there just isn't. My own experience has spanned many lives. Unfortunately, I'm very stubborn. So my soul has taken quite a while to realize what's going on, but I really feel that in this life I'm starting to get it together. So anyway, in the reunion stage, the souls meet again, and basically the split soul connects on a energetic level and becomes one once again. It says in here that first this happens on the soul level, and then it's generally accepted that eventually it becomes on the physical level as well. The fifth and final stage is called eternal bliss and becoming love. This is when both souls have attained enlightenment. Not just one, but both of them. And perfect love and harmony resides between both of them, but not just that, they become love. They embody the very meaning of love. And in doing this, they are able to create anything that they envision. They are able to paint and craft their own reality in a beautiful, beautiful way. And there is a mass amount of healing and happiness there. So, like I said, I will post the link to this website that I pulled these stages from. I really think it's a really neat website and that you might like it too. So when and will I meet my twin flame in this life, Dandy? The truth is, I have no idea. I may be psychic, I have psychic gifts, but I don't know. And like I said before, I try very hard not to deal in absolutes. I have no idea when you will meet yours. Some of us will meet ours in this life, some won't. And I am one of those people. I know my twin flame. I know who he is. I know his name. I know his face. I know his energy like my own. But he is not incarnated on this plane at this time. So there is a physical distance between us. And sharing a little bit about my story, like I said, I know him very well, but we are not together physically. And being that I needed a great deal of healing and I needed a great deal of growth, there wasn't a way that we could do that together. I needed to be on my own. I needed to be somewhere where I would be put to the test. And for me personally, I've come to realize quite recently that I am of an angelic plane, and I am also an indigo child, indigo soul, if you want to call it that. And where I come from, love is so different than what it is here. It's not a chaotic place filled with hate and discrimination. Love is simple. Love is, you breathe and you love. But coming from my twin flame who was already enlightened, I couldn't just immediately be on his level. I needed to do my own growing. I needed to do my own learning. And I couldn't do it there. I couldn't do it in a place where things are so wonderful. My soul needed to go through hell. So I strongly believe that is why I came here to this place, around humans who are so chaotic and unfortunately filled with hate and anger. And like I said, we are so divided. I was born into a family where there was a great deal of strife and fear and isolation, and just, I won't go into a lot of the details, but it was horrific. It was horrific for a long time, and I have been through traumatic events since then. However, in the last, I would say 6 years, things have been a lot different, and things have been coming together because I've been facing these things and I've been doing the growth and doing the work. But what I'm trying to say here is that I am on my way to getting to the level he is at so that we can reconnect. And to do that, I need to do the work. And I have to say, I feel like Earth is the perfect place for us to go through these trials so that we can learn who and what we are and what we are capable of doing, because there is so much around us that needs help. There are plenty of chances for us to, go through trial by fire. And, I think I want to end the video by saying, no matter what you're going through, no matter who you are, I love you, and you're going to get through this because you have it inside of you. You just have to get this on board. This can work against you or it can work for you. I'm a psychology major, so I can tell you, I know it's hard, but if you can get this on your side, it will help. So yeah, I hope that this video has been helpful. I just realized that I'm almost at the 30-minute mark. Holy crap, I'm sorry for talking so long. I hope it's been helpful. I hope that it's been enlightening. And please feel free to post questions or comments. Again, please keep it positive. If you want to start arguments, my page is not the place for you. You can go away. This is a place where people can feel safe and loved and learn. I love teaching. I love teaching, and I love learning. So the more I learn, the more I'll teach. Post suggestions for future videos if you would like. I'm excited. I really like doing this project. And hopefully as I go through future videos, I will say and like and a lot less, and I will not be looking down at my paper. Hopefully it will all be in here, but no promises. So anyway, it was great talking with you guys. I hope you liked my video. If you did, please like it, please share with your friends and subscribe, and I'll keep doing this. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and remember that you are loved and you are love. Have a great day, guys.